Eco-crafting is a natural for Heidi Borchers because she has been playing with and collecting paper since she was a child. Today, Heidi is here to show you a vintage Aleene's favorite that everyone has been asking about. It's burnt brown bag. Yes, you heard me right. It's burnt brown bag. I'm delighted to welcome my sister, Heidi Borchers. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Tiff. Thanks so much. Yes, today I'm going to show you how to burn a brown bag to make it look like metal. And I am doing this because there were so many requests over the last month or so to show this. So I'm going to show you how to burn a brown bag. Oh, Sister Candace, come here and say hi real quick. This is our Sister Candace. You don't get to see her very often. She's hanging out here. She's gonna go out in just a minute for a book club, but we wanted to say hi to her. Okay. Tiff, if you will put on the picture of the butterfly that I'm going to show today. Okay, first of all, you need brown bag. Let's see, I have to go really slow with this because it gets kind of blurry. I have my pattern on here. Okay, so you can draw any kind of pattern. The butterfly works really cool because it looks, when it's done, it looks like metal. And we'll get some glue here. And of course, I'm using the Aleene's Tacky Glue, Mama Aleene. And actually, this technique came up years ago. I mean, it was probably 50 or 60 years ago when one of Mom's designers, I think it was Katie Ogle, she was testing the glue for flammability and found out that when she went to test it, that it did this really cool metal look. So I'm squeegeeing it on. Just squeegee. You want just a solid coat. And then I take an 18 gauge wire and I put it inside right up through the butterfly. Like that. And I kind of just press it. And then while it's drying, well, first of all, I cut it out with scissors, like so. And this is brown bag. And I usually only use just a couple of thicknesses because when it dries, it is really solid when you use the Aleene's Tacky Glue. So I cut it out like that, and as I shape it, then I shape it while it's still wet. And you kind of have to, as it's drying, kind of watch it a little bit because when it is wet like this, it does tend to kind of sag a little bit. So you want to shape the butterfly wings. And then this is what you have when you're done. Now, almost everything, whether you want a wire or not, you should put a wire in and then you're going to cut it off afterwards because you want to have something to hold on to. This one here, I cut it off afterwards because I was going to make this into a pin. So, but to hold on to the actual butterfly while you're burning it. And that's exactly what we're going to do, is we're going to burn it. So let me light my candle. And okay, let's talk about candles for a second. You can burn this over any candle, but for the best results, use like a plumber's candle, or I think this is a plumber's candle, but they also have it like in the hardware store, like for emergency supplies. It's a really solid candle. It takes a long time for it to burn, and I really like the flame in it too. If you use like a little votive candle, you don't get the nice flame that this one gets. Okay, now what you're going to do, and this is how you go to burn it. Let's see if I can get this into the frame here. We're actually going to put glue onto the butterfly. My glue bottle is almost out of glue. Okay, we're going to actually put, let's see if I can get enough. And again, it has to be kind of solid. And you don't want to have any of the brown bag showing. Because what you're actually doing when I say burnt brown bag is you're actually burning the glue on the brown bag. And we're going to go like that. And see, it's pretty thick. I keep going out of the frame. This is the new demo cam that Tiffany just set up for me. Okay, there we go. There we go. See how thick that is? I want to get some around the edge. Okay, now while the glue is wet, do not let it dry. You put it down into the flame. Oh shoot, I just pushed that out. You put it in the flame, but not on the wick. Okay, let's put that on again. Okay, we're going to put it into the flame, and I'll show you, see how I'm just putting it right into the flame. And I'm going to show you in just a second see how it's turning black. And turn it over. And I'm going to keep going, and you kind of keep it moving. Remember, you're burnishing the glue, and you want to make sure that you get it solid burnish on the wet glue. Just keep going. Now, once in a while, I'll have it where maybe I didn't get the glue completely on the brown bag, and maybe I see a little fire started. You just blow it out. Nothing to worry about. See how it's starting to burnish? I have a few more. Little areas you can see over here, down here. You need to burnish that. And this is why you need the wire, is because you're going through into the flame. I'm going to keep burnishing. And remember, if you don't want to go right down onto the wick like I did to begin with, because that just puts the flame out. And I'll turn it over again. And we need a little bit more up in this corner. And I think I have about another minute. Okay. Now, to get the look where it's kind of wrinkled, you can see it in this. I'll put this up really close. See how it's nice and wrinkled? See all that texture? Oh, let me see if we can get it to see all that wonderful texture. This is really the coolest thing, and this is the step you have to remember. I take a paper towel or a soft cloth, kind of wrap my finger in it, and while it's still wet, you kind of push that wet glue, because it's kind of got a film on it. See if we can. And it's also got soot on it. It's got like a black soot on it. So you're just going to kind of, I don't know if I can get you to see the wrinkled part of it. See, you can see a little bit of it there. So you just keep pushing a little bit until you get the look that you want. And then get all that. And that's where it kind of looks like metal. Okay, when it's completely how you want it with all the wrinkles, then what you're going to do, this one's dry. You're going to let it dry, and then you're going to wipe off all the soot. And to get the metal look, you are going to use rub and buff. You can use gold, you can use silver, but the gold is what makes it look like it's metal. Okay. Put a little bit out here. And just kind of go over here. Just kind of go over, and everywhere that you had those wrinkles in the glue as you burn it, and you put the gold over it, see how it just kind of takes on to the you just kind of hit and miss on that on all those wrinkles, and that's when you have like this. Now that's just the basic burnt brown bag that looks like metal. I don't have time today, but we are working on a class on Craft Tech U where I'm going to show you other ways to paint. Like this is the copper look. This is where it looks like it's actually copper. And we're going to show you the different. I have lots of different ways to make it look. So let me click back for just a second and hang on. Oh, Tiffany, if there was any questions, we can get to them now. Any questions? Any question? When you use the Technic glue, do you thin it out? You do not thin it at all. Just use it right from the container. Could you use perfect pearls? Yeah, yes, you can. Certainly you can. That's where, like I said, this is just the basic, just basically showing you just how to make it metal. I mean, there are so many different ways. I use acrylic paint. I use, you know, anything that, any waxy kind of coloring. Now, the antennas are just simply wires that I just kind of twisted. It's just that decorative wire. I think I used like 18 gauge, and I just basically all I did was just twist them onto some pliers, and then I glued it to the back. Anything else? Can you use brown lunch bags? You can use brown lunch bags, but be sure that you you use probably 4 thicknesses, because it is a lot thinner than the really thick stuff. Ornaments for a tree would be wonderful. Yeah, think of all the things that you can actually do with this. I actually have made wonderful sculptures with this, big sculptures of like leaves. And the very first one that they did years ago, about 50 years ago, is they made this wonderful ship, excuse me, or sailboat that was all done with really cool the gold and sails and everything. Someone just asked, I just thought if you could use stamping. You know, I'm sure you can. That would be a great thing to try it. The only thing is you have to make sure that, because it is glue, be real careful that you don't break the glue. If you do, here's another little tip before I go. If you do break the glue, put it back into the candle for a little bit when you go to put the stamp in. So it looks like Tiffany's all ready, and Ann and everybody else. So if you have any other questions, I will be back, or you can ask them in the chat room. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much, Heidi. One question I do want to answer that was in the chat room is about using other glues. We do not recommend this for any other glues because we haven't tested it. This was tested for years and years and years from Mama Aleene's glues because they were testing it for flammability. So we can't recommend any other glues. I don't know if other glues are flammable. So don't try this technique with any other glue but the Aleene's original tacky glue. So, and as Heidi said, be sure and coat that entire brown bag. You're burning and blackening the glue, not the bag. And yes, you can do it on both sides. And we could sit here and answer questions for the next hour on that cool technique. But Heidi will be back a little bit later in the show. Also, as Heidi mentioned, we will have a class at Craft Tech University that will take you back again through the basics and then lots of different techniques for coloring to give you different effects.